Good morning, peeps. It is Monday morning, and I just dropped my son off to school and kind of was able to go downstairs and play with my granddaughter for a little bit and come back to the room. And anyway, I wanted to come on because this is just one of those mornings where I'm coming off a high recital and just kind of getting back into the swing of things. So this morning I woke up and my recital song was Tamia, "Stuck with Me," and you know how you listen to a song and then you wake up the next morning and that song is on your mind, and of course, rightfully so, it would be because I had to practice for days listening to that same song, so that song was on my mind. When I got up, I was thinking how as much as I love my husband and he's surely amazing. He's my prince. I definitely, that song meant even more so to me about about God at the end of the day. Like how, without him, I'm nothing. Without him, I can't get up in the morning. I can't do anything. And then I just happened to wake up this morning feeling like, oh gosh, here we go. I need to do this all over again. My two businesses, being a mom, being a grandmother, being a mother. And sometimes you feel like you just lacking something no matter what because we can't find solace in materialistic things. And no matter how much we have, we won't be able to find it. But anyway, I did wake up feeling that way, and I felt a little like, oh, here we go, merry-go-round. When I was a kid, I used to hate when my parents used to go to work because they would go to work. My mother would leave to go to work in the morning. They would come back, and my dad too. And so what happened was I wouldn't see them till I got back from school. So when they would get home, I hated that. I just remember thinking like it was like they were slaves to me. Like you know, I didn't understand why they had to leave so early and then they came back. And it was kind of like to me, I mean, for lack of a better word, kind of like I don't know, like how cattle would be if they were being moved through, they're just herded. And it's kind of like you just do what everybody else does. And I hated that. And I remember saying to myself, there's no way. I don't want that. Like a 9 to 5, nah, that's not going to be for me. And sure enough, I don't have a 9 to 5. And I have two businesses where, of course, you pretty much work around the clock for some of it, but it's, to how I plan it and how I schedule it. So it's definitely not that bad. And my husband being my rock, and, he helps me to get through it. But anyway, this whole journey thing that I'm doing here on YouTube is definitely about me being able to go back and look at myself and look at the things I was going through at certain times in my life. And I was thinking I could set this video to private to go back and look at it, and then I thought this might be something that somebody needs this morning, and I don't know. So if I'm gonna do this, and I feel like I think everybody has a voice. Everybody surely does have a voice, and we never know what we could say that could help someone else. So if by me keeping this public helps someone else, then what I do want to say is definitely when I woke up and I thought about the song, I thought about how everything that I need I find in God for me, and I have since I was a young girl. And so anyway, what I'm where I'm going at is, of course, when I woke up this morning, it wasn't a great morning for me. Like I wasn't like, yay, like I'm alive and everything's good, and I was just kind of like, okay, here we go, we're gonna do this again, and it's like I'm on this merry-go-round, like I'm being herded, meaning I'm doing everything over and over again. Like, what else is there? Like, every day. So, tomorrow when I wake up, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do my two businesses. I have my family. Um, I'm going to see the same stuff, whatever. And that really gets to me. If I let my wheels get to turning that way they do. So, anyway, I was kind of feeling sorry for myself. And anyway, for those who know, I'm a book addict. I love books. And this is the book that I'm reading today. It's called Big God. And this will probably be, well, I'm getting, this month is about to be over as of today. But anyway, I have read about 3 books this month. And so this one is by Britt Merrick, and it's called Big God: What Happens When We Trust Him. And it says it includes the study guide. So what this book is about, it's about trusting in God and like the stories that happened in the Bible that the characters in the Bible. Now, I have not started reading it yet, so I do want to say that. But what I did do is this morning I was kind of like when I dropped my son off at school, I kind of go find a place where I could talk to God. And I started reading a little bit at one of the stoplights, and it just like right away shocked me because in one of the book, and well, in here he starts to talk about. I don't want to really read what it's saying, but I'll give a little synopsis of what I've read so far. He starts to talk about. Well, first, let me just start off here because this is Song 661 1 through 4, and this is David, and he's saying, "Hear my cry, O God, attend to my prayer. From the end of the earth I will cry to you. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in your tabernacle forever, and I will trust in the shelter of your wings." So that's how he starts it off. And, this particular chapter is called When My Heart is Overwhelmed. And so that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, that's how I feel this morning. But what hit me like a bag of rocks was hearing about his daughter, the author's daughter, having cancer. She's 5 years old. So when you start off by getting up in the morning and feeling the way that you do, well, the way I did this morning, and then thinking like, ugh, here we go, like a hamster wheel, starting this all over again. Where's the adventure? Like I'm ready to just do something else because I'm one of those type of people. I'm spontaneous. I like to just do stuff, and I get really bored easily if I do things over and over and over. So feeling like a trapped herd of cattle going through the motions this morning. I was just kind of in my feelings. And I thinking about how I need God, but then also thinking like, man, I know He's there for me, and I know He loves me, but He knows like this. I want more than this. But then I picked up that book because what I do is I like to keep books on my nightstand so that I can go back and refer. Like immediately, like I wake up, on the other side of this camera is my desk where I put all of my books and I have them stacked up. So that way I can go and just pick that book and I can read it. And then from there, I place it on my bookshelf when I'm done. And then I'll go back and if I'm having or, feeling a certain type of way, I want to go and read a book that kind of touched me at that time or just refer back to a book, I'll go do that. So this is the book, and I'll be sharing the different books that I'm reading. I'm going to read a little more about it, and I'm going to tell you, come back and do a review on it. But what I like is that he starts off saying that he's talking about the different personalities or the different, I don't want to say characters because they were real, but the different. Okay, so since I can't, I'm pretty sure that he's talking about Moses and some of the other people in the Bible, and he's going to talk about. That's what I'm getting from it anyway. But anyway, not to make this a babbling uh, video log at all. It's just that I'm really trying to figure this thing out. But more importantly, what I want to say is it really shocked me this morning when I found out that the author's daughter had cancer. And then what happened was it made the way I felt waking up this morning less important as far as, how I was in my feelings, because no one wants to wake up and have to go to a hospital to love and pray over your child and try to push and keep yourself strong, keep your family strong, and then try to be there for your child. And your child's 5 years old going through something so traumatic, and just trying to keep faith. That is much bigger than me waking up this morning in my feelings about a hamster wheel, and that's where I'm going with that. So I'm going to read more about it, and hopefully this helps someone. Hopefully the scripture verse helps someone, because it goes to show that even David, who was a man after God's own heart, he was crying out to God. And so we have those moments where we do, but we have to trust that he is there. So I'm going to read this because basically, again, it talks about what happens when we trust him. And then it talks about the care, like what the Bible heroes, I guess that's what I'm going to call them, went through, but they were humans just like we were. But I will say this, just in case you are thinking about getting a book, I got it actually at a discount store here in Atlanta called Ollie's. I got it for $2.99. Now you might not have an Ollie's, so you might have to order it from Amazon. But what it does say is, how big is your God? So this is the back part of the book, and I'll read that part just in case you're thinking about getting it. But it says, faith is trust. It is confidence in the power and goodness of God. But how can you know that he's trustworthy, that he is big enough to deserve your faith? By seeing how he has shown himself faithful in the lives of people just like you. The stories of men and women who put their trust in God at critical, pivotal moments of their lives fill the pages of the Bible. These people were not perfect, but when it really mattered, they chose to trust the big God who knew and loved them. And once they did, these men and women of faith found out exactly what happened when God's people put their faith in him. It says the Bible issues this challenge to anyone who longs for a closer walk with God. Be, be imitators of those who, through faith and patience, inherit the promises. It was in Hebrews 6 and 12. Big God will introduce you to some everyday people who trusted God's promises and saw those promises fulfilled. By looking at their lives, you will see that throughout history, God has shown himself faithful to his promises and his people. Time and time again, you will learn that he is worthy of your trust today, that no matter how overwhelming your problems, heartaches, and circumstances appear to be, God is bigger. And then you can also get some video sermons and outlines from the author. He says visit www.biggodthebook.com. BIGGODTHEBOOK.com. So www.biggodthebook.com. So I'm just really excited to read this. So far, it helped me to put some things in perspective this morning. So there you have it. Hopefully that helps someone. I'll get back to you with a review if you can't get it. And I pray blessings and favor over you this morning. I pray that you have a good one. Love you guys. Peace.